Remember that time Disney made you look at fart aliens?
Hey everybody, it's Molly with AllEars, and you're watching RTT. This is definitely not my one from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Disney Channel original movie.
Is a Disney Channel original movie.
Was a Disney Channel original movie.
A Disney Channel original movie.
Love me some DCOMs. Let's do it.
Smart House is Katie Seagal's star turn as a home of the future in the style of Siri, Alexa, and others.
It starred one Ryan Merriman, who is featured in all of these movies, really.
Because this was the time when Disney had like 5 actors and they used them in everything.
He enters a contest to win a smart house because his mom died. I don't know if that's why he enters the contest, but I know that his mom died and that he's now entered a contest.
It's not a Disney movie unless one of the parents are dead, even in DCOMs.
And so his family moves into this like fully modernized house.
House is awesome. Like when they want something to eat, they're just like, hey, Pat. Pat's the name of the AI. And they're like, hey, Pat, I want a smoothie. And just like a smoothie appears in the kitchen. And like if you drop something, it just like vacuums it up into the floor.
That one stood out to me from a young age because I was like, if I can find technology where I spill something, which happens a lot to me, and it just sucks it away,
How can you be sure the floor won't eat you?
I'll pay, I will pay top dollar.
Do you not wonder where that trash went?
I don't know where it went.
How can you be sure that the grinder in the carpets won't destroy your feet?
Perhaps I should think more about that. I don't know.
I have many questions about solid objects traveling through carpet in the floor of an AI-controlled house. And this movie is answering none of them.
This film is actually very layered because the reason that the boy wanted to win the house so much was because their mom passed away and he was doing a lot of work around the home. Like he was doing the cooking and he was making sure his little sister got off to school on time while his dad was at work. And he was like, I never go out for the basketball team because I got to keep this family together. And every time his dad started dating, he got like really weird about it because he didn't want to replace his mom. Like it's very layered.
The woman that helped program this house and design it happens to catch the eye of the single dad that's raising this family.
Really?
And let me tell you something. The house ain't having it. The house malfunctions and starts to be like, you know what? No, I'm the mom now.
And then she's like, mother knows best. But then she takes over and tries to kill them.
I would call Google customer support and I would complain.
This is how much of an impact Smart House made on me. When Alexa first came out, my first thought was Pat.
Pat is her name. I love Katie Seagal. I think she's a great actress.
And while watching it the whole time, I just kept thinking, wow, Peggy Bundy has really turned a new leaf.
I have noticed that my Alexa's a lot nicer to my husband than she is to me. I don't want to read too much into that, but it is a thing. Anyway, Pat.
I wanted her to live in my home. I guess she kind of could now, but her name's Alexa. Did Apple and Google just watch Smart House and then take all the ideas?
Dude, the special effects in Smart House are bomb. Like, they're bad, but in a really good way. The house has arms.
I think the special effects are a reflection of the time.
Actually, compared to some of the other movies we're gonna talk about, they're pretty good.
What did I think of the special effects when I was that age? I thought it was A+. Now looking back, the special effects are trash. They're terrible.
But my favorite effect that's in this movie is the boy throws a party.
The main kid's like 2 besties come over and she projects a concert on the wall and it's from the band Five, which was spelled 5, like the number, and then IVE, which at the time Disney Channel was always shoving some new pop band down your throat that they were trying to like pump up, and it was 5 right now. And then there's also an appearance by Bewitched.
I would like to attribute the success of Bewitched C'est La Vie to Smart House.
Say you will, say you won't, say you'll do what I don't, say it's true, say you're me, wanna say c'est la vie.
But I don't think that's realistic.
I like dancing, and I like when cool people do awesome dances in the middle of ordinary television movies.
I don't think that teenage boys really learned pop star choreography and did it in their living room, but I would be delighted to find out if they did, because I know I did.
Honestly, I don't know if I would accept a smart house, because I already live in a stupid house, and it's already too much for me.
Oh my gosh, if I want a smart house, it would be on. I'm calling everybody. Where y'all at? Quincy, Bree Love, Jared, Molly, everybody come to the smart house. It's about to be on. We're about to quarantine in the smart house. Could you imagine that? Wouldn't y'all love to see us in a reality show? Like, I would put cameras everywhere. It would be amazing. I feel like we wouldn't get any sleep, and we'd be having like petty arguments. Could you imagine us in the confessional? I don't understand why Duck Fest loves Mr. Toad. He's wrong about that. And I know that he put salt in the sugar shakers just because I said I didn't like it.
Have you lost your mind? There's only one person who knows what you three need. That's me.
Wind. There's nothing else like it.
I'm sorry, you just asked me what is Stepsister from Planet Weird. I was gonna ask you the same question. What is that?
Stepsister from Planet Weird is a cinematic masterpiece.
Have you lost your mind?
Stepsister from Planet Weird is a movie about farts that are alive.
Stepsister from Planet Weird is a DCOM from the year 2000, and it stars Courtney Draper.
A girl who's going to high school and is a windsurfer.
This is something that Disney does, especially in their Disney Channel original movies. They always must have a obsession with sports.
A really rather obscure sport.
We had the roller skaters, we had motocross.
Disney was like, what, enough basketball. Let's get windsurfing in there.
Her dad and mom, unfortunately, have split up, child of divorce, because Disney doesn't like full families. The girl has her life turned upside down when her mom meets a new man.
Michael Brody from Jaws the Revenge. That's right, it's Lance Guest. And I was watching it and I was like, hang on a second.
I met a new guy.
They get engaged very, very quickly. Like, one could say too quickly.
And then she brings him home and he's like super weird.
Spoiler alert, he's an alien.
But not a cool kind of alien. They're bubble aliens.
You heard me, people. Literally, the aliens are bubbles.
A bubble. She's a gas bubble.
Sentient bubbles that are from a different planet, taken over by an authoritarian government who Cosmo fights against in the rebellion. Is this movie Star Wars? Maybe.
They dabble in a Star Wars type plot where like she and her dad are part of the resistance, and her mom dies because I think she pops.
Now just a part of the great cosmic gas.
Which is very sad. I shouldn't laugh, but it's hilarious.
She died by a breeze, like the wind. The wind like whisked her and she just like popped.
Which reminds me, the alien sister is super afraid of the wind.
Well, the wind is actually the main villain of this film. When you're unsure of who the villain is, be sure that there's only one thing to fear, and it's the wind.
The wind! The wind!
That's my favorite quote from this movie. I fear the wind.
It's sort of like the Elton John song, Candle in the Wind. Seems to me you live your life like a toot in the wind. Coming down from planet weird, your life ended before it begins. I thought you would stick around a little bit longer, but your fart had to be released. Your fart bubble, it popped long before you should have been deceased.
And it culminates in perhaps one of the best Disney battles. Like, I'll put it out there. It really is amazing.
Okay, I have a confession to make. Coming close. I turned this film off before the final battle.
This is not easy to explain. The king, Bubble, comes to the planet with his son, who's Ariel's boyfriend, to get him. And then he turns into this giant scary gas bubble, and they defeat him with
blow dryers. And much like this blow dryer, they're not plugged in.
It was either the work of a genius or the work of a last-minute scriptwriter.
the man who wrote Stepsister from Planet Weird, also wrote and directed all of the Bill and Ted movies, and wrote the Goofy movie, which is also comedic genius.
Goodbye, Tootie sister. I really love the way you looked when your face was a bubble inside. Ooh, the bathroom sink. And it made me sad to see when the toot bubble popped and you were gone for eternity. I'll never forget that sight.
That bubble, as you so patronizingly call it, is the love of my life.
I love the Luck of the Irish.
Luck of the Irish is another Disney Channel original movie, a DCOM, starring Ryan Merriman.
That one kid that was in every Disney Channel original movie, this time happens to be a leprechaun.
What's it called? Darby O'Gill and the Little People? Oh no, I'm sorry. That was a good movie.
Can't help but notice whoever put this list together hates Xenon. C.S. Lapidus. Get Luck of the Irish out of here.
The plot of Luck of the Irish is there is a 15-year-old boy named Kyle Johnson. And oh, it's so weird.
There's this kid, Cody, Jake, Dylan, Max. I think his name's Max in this one. And he is a basketball star at his high school, and he has a culture project where he has to do a project on his heritage. And his parents won't tell him what his heritage is. They're like,
Huh? Cleveland. Like, they're that subtle.
Like, just tell him he's Irish. Like, I can promise you, he is not going to immediately assume that he is a leprechaun.
I think ultimately this movie was set up to be a prequel because we know that Disney movies often feature a broken home. The catalyst hasn't happened that's going to ultimately break them apart.
All of a sudden, like, he's at this huge Irish festival. Mind you, he has a lucky coin that he wears all the time.
What, this? No, this is just something my mom gave me when I was a baby.
I wore green and a gold necklace for this reason. He has a lucky coin. There's no coin on the end of this.
And, you know, there's river dancing everywhere, and it's glitter falling, and this, you know, shifty-looking emo guy comes out.
He's a bad man. He steals the luck from the leprechaun family that is trying to live amongst the humans.
The bad guy is a jerk face for stealing the leprechaun pendant. But ultimately, if he doesn't steal the leprechaun pendant, maybe Ryan Merriman, actor who's been in everything, never knows his actual heritage. So maybe he did him a favor. You might argue that this villain actually did them a favor by preventing the ultimate destruction of this family's home.
When he gets back home, he realizes that his mom is a leprechaun.
His mom is Merida.
Like, she's like this big, she's got red hair, she's got pointy ears, and she's doing an Irish jig. And she's adapted a terrible Irish accent.
Oh, Maxie boy, welcome home to your mom's making food in the kitchen.
Along the way, you have to go meet Grand Da.
His grandfather, who runs a potato chip factory.
I can't even talk about it. It's so ridiculous. He owns a potato chip factory because potatoes. Get it? They have to play a game. They like bet on it.
We're all in this together. Like another movie, Disney.com, DCOM, Disney Channel original movie.
Wrong series.
And basketball. And he wins, and it's fine, he gets his luck back. But boy, is it a ride. Is it a journey?
It's ridiculous.
If I found out my parents are leprechauns.
Have you heard something?
Some parts of it seemed nice. Like when the mom was making all that food, I'm like, well, man, that food looks good. Like, I'd be cool with this.
Am I half leprechaun? I told you there's Irish in my blood. Am I half leprechaun? Tell me right now, where is my coin? I'm obsessed. I'm half leprechaun. I gotta call my mom.
And what am I supposed to do? Do I get, like, does someone give me my pot of gold when I turn 18? What do I do with it? Am I allowed to spend it myself? Because I don't get this whole concept of dragging around a pot of gold and like chasing rainbows. Maybe I do get that part.
I love rainbows. It makes sense. It makes sense. I love a good rainbow. It makes sense that I'd be leprechaun.
How do you feel about the representation of leprechauns in Lucky Charms? Is that offensive? What does the red balloon and the blue moon have to do with the pot of gold?
I'm just in Ireland, you know what I mean? Looking at the Loch Ness Monster, eating some corned beef and cabbage, and stashing my gold. What you doing? What's your life like? Huh? You want my life? I know you do. I'm half a leprechaun.
The leprechaun would kind of be a letdown because that would let me know that magical alternate universes exist, but we didn't get one of the cooler characters.
I've never once taken this necklace off in my entire life, so I don't know if my mom's a leprechaun. She was very adamant about not taking this off, so maybe.
You try taking it off right now.
Yeah, do you think we'll hear her turn into a leprechaun from here? Welcome home to your mom's making food in the kitchen. What do you guys think?
Did I say leprechaun?
My father's from Cleveland.
This is my favorite DCOM of all time. I'm so pumped. I'm so juiced. I'm so ready to do this. The 13th year is unbeatable. I don't care what anybody says. Let's go.
Oh, this was my favorite one.
I mean, it's no luck of the Irish.
13th Year is the story of the Little Mermaid told by a boy. So instead of Ariel, his name is Gariel.
13th Year is the tale of Cody, who, like all of these movies, has a talent in sports. His is swimming.
And at his 13th birthday, he discovers that he is turning into a merman because actually his mermaid mother dropped him off in a boat.
I have a fan theory about it, y'all. I feel like the 13th year is Splash 2. I'm just saying, I feel like after she went and Tom Hanks and her went to the bottom of the ocean, they got busy, they had a baby.
I was so into the 13th Year when I was little. I thought that I had the biggest crush on Cody.
Samantha, the girlfriend in the 13th Year, Courtney Draper. I thought Courtney Draper was the bee's knees. And as a younger child than 13, I was just, my heart was going pitter patter for her in this movie.
So when Cody's turning into a mermaid, lots of weird stuff happens to him. Like, he tries to kiss his girlfriend Sam, but he like jolts her with electricity.
I was very jealous.
He realizes his fingers are sticky and he starts climbing the wall, as one does. And his mother walks in and he's like just straight up on the ceiling hanging by his fingertips. And they're like, okay, we should probably take you to the pediatrician.
They're like, you know what mermaids need? To be able to climb on ceilings and also zap things. Like, how does that, they already have many traits for you to pull from to make a compelling story.
And then of course the scale rash, and then he gets fins. So he talks to his parents about it and he like shows them this weird thing and they're like, it's probably just puberty. It's probably just like a rash. You're fine.
It's probably strep throat. Yeah, we just gotta take him to the doctor. He's got chickenpox.
Maybe don't get wet for a while. Just don't get wet. And it's like, the kid's got a shower. He's a 13-year-old boy. 13-year-old boys stink.
I know I would just be like all over the place. I'd just be like, I'd be Instagramming it. I'd be like, you guys, hi, what's up? It's RJ. I woke up feeling zany. I have to show you what's on my arm. What is this? Like, I don't even know what it is. Comment below and tell me what you think it is. Bye.
So I will say the end was a little disturbing.
You know, at the end of the movie, his mom's like, hey, you want to come be in the water? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, no. And then his actual mom's like, I'll have him back before school starts.
Mermom definitely took that boy down to Watertown. And he is never coming back. Are you kidding me? Yeah, right. He'll be back next semester? I don't think so. She came back to claim her own. And she got him. And she looked at that other mom and was like, I'm gonna take it from here.
He swims off with his mom, and then he goes, you know, to Atlantica, and then he meets up with his dad, Tom Hanks.
He goes there, I think, and he hangs out in Atlantis for 3 months, and then he comes back and he has to go to school like a normal kid, and then I assume to therapy.
He got to see an incredible under-the-sea life. They went deeper than he'd ever gone, and he saw fish unlike any that he'd ever seen before. And then he got eaten by a shark. That's why there was no 14th year.
Yes. If you did not want to be a mermaid, you are a liar. Everyone wants to turn into a mermaid. I don't care who you are. It'll be awesome.
My skin is so soft. I don't want those glassy, plasticky scales. You can have them, fish. Mr. Sturgeon, you keep your scales, sir. I'm fine with my soft and silky skin.
I 100% wished I would turn into, I will say this. I would have liked to become a mermaid, but I also would have wanted to know what was happening because it would be very frightening to all of a sudden just sprout scales.
I am still wishing that I turn into a merman. Please, someone make it happen. Somebody, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, somebody make a pill.
Definitely. I think everybody wants to be special.
And I would talk to the sharks. Oh my God, this just got even better. Yeah, I want to be a mermaid right now. I'm way older than 13 and I still want to turn into a mermaid.
All of these movies are Disney Channel original movies from the late 90s/early 2000s.
And all of them became kind of cult classics. And I think to this day, they're only growing in popularity because you hear the storylines of some of these and you're like, wait a minute. Disney Channel did not. And you're like, yeah, they did. And they did it a long time ago. Get with it.
I just feel like they have that old school Disney Channel vibe to them, you know? That kind of innocence of the Disney Channel when, you know, kids were dressing like kids instead of little pop stars.
It's rude for us to do a Disney Channel original movie episode and not talk about High School Musical because that is the Disney Channel original movie. But at the same time, can you really narrow High School Musical down to just one section of an RTT? I don't think so.
Interplanetary that wasn't the word. Interplanetary, megastellar, hypostatic, hydrostatic. Zeus Lapidus. Let's try again. Interplanetary, megastellar, hydrostatic. There's no gravity between us. Our love is automatic.
Hey everybody, it's Molly. We hope you enjoyed this episode of RTT. Make sure to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you know when new episodes are coming out. If you want more RTT, click over here for a playlist of all of our episodes about movies. And if you want more AllEars, click over here for a scavenger hunt race between Quincy and I through Hollywood Studios.
We should be talking about Xenon!